Hey everyone, Roger here. Today we're going to talk about a little bit of my life story, but compressed in I guess under 10 minutes. So I'm going to try my best to tell as much as I can about myself. I get a lot of messages asking my background, so I think this is the perfect opportunity to tell you, where I was born and some of the things that I accomplished in my life up until my accident. So I was born in Montreal, Quebec. I was there with my father and my mother, my older sister, and my younger brother. I lived there for about 7 to 8 years, and after that we moved to Toronto. My dad was transferred over to Toronto, and don't remember a lot about Montreal. I just remember that it was a very beautiful city. But then we moved to Toronto. It was actually pretty cool because all the signs were actually all in English, because in Montreal it was all bilingual, so it was a kind of cool transition to see. So when I was around 10 years old, my father and mother opened up this little Chinese grocery store, and that's when I started working. I started working when I was 10 years old. I was a cashier there, and I was actually, I was kind of surprised that people actually trusted a 10-year-old doing the cash, but it worked pretty well. My parents were very successful with that business, and I learned a lot. I learned how to talk to people, and because they got really busy, and they were very successful with the business. So my childhood was, I lived a very happy childhood. My parents raised us well. So when I was about, let's see, I think it was grade 6 or something like that, my friend asked me, do you want to audition in a school play? And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know even what to do. And he's like, oh, just go there and just sing a song or something and read a script, and then you can act. And I was like, acting? I never even thought about acting before. So, I attempted it, and they loved it. So I think that was the first time I was introduced to acting and singing, and I realized how much I enjoyed it. So, when you're a kid around that age, you're just kind of like, you're not really thinking about what you want to do in the future. But, I knew that acting and singing was something that I really enjoyed to do. So as I got older, going into high school, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for acting at the time, but I took all the drama courses. And I think at that time I wanted to pursue an acting because I really enjoyed it, because I think I just like to improvise, and I think it's very difficult to actually try to become someone else, and becoming an actor, I thought that was a very challenging thing to do. So at that time, when I went at the end of high school, I had to basically select what I wanted to pursue, and I chose acting. But unfortunately, I didn't really choose the wrong school to go to, but I got accepted to a great school, but at that time they weren't offering it was a college at the time, and they weren't offering a degree. So I actually switched over to a university instead, and it didn't last quite long. I think I went there for 2 years, and then I just stopped going because I was just not motivated enough to continue studying there anymore, because I really wanted to, pursue acting, and to actually learn how to act. So at that time, my father was like, there was a lot of singing competitions happening, and they were in Chinese. And between the ages of 18 and 20, I realized that I could sing kind of. So I started entering these competitions, but the only thing was I didn't really know how to speak Chinese. I didn't know how to read it. I didn't know how to write it. So what I did was I just memorized the lyrics and just sung the song according to the mood of it. So if it was a slow song, I would just sing emotionally sad. And I tried, I failed, I tried and failed, and then finally I came in 5th in one of the competitions where they were the top 5 would actually come out with a CD, and they would pick the top 5 winners, and we would create a CD, and then we would just promote it somehow. And I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, I made it, you know, I'm a professional singer now, you know. So we went around, we did some tours and stuff like that. And just recording at the studio, I think was a really good experience, man. It's like, I can't believe I'm actually gonna be on a CD. And plus it's in Chinese, which is like, I don't know, at that time, and I guess not a lot of like Canadian-born Chinese people were actually, you know, singing Chinese at the time. But nowadays you see a lot of it. But it didn't really last too long, and I guess I was really sad actually, because I was just like, now what am I going to do, you know? I have no idea what I'm going to do. So, and during that time, my brother had moved to California to work as a comic book artist, and that hurt me a lot because, you know, my brother and I are really, really close, and for the first time ever, you know, he's leaving, and you know, on top of that, I was pretty sad at the time. But he came back shortly after, and him and I, we created, we started from scratch. You know, we had this little tiny studio, and we just worked really hard, and we created our own comic book. We started creating our own intellectual property, and my brother is very experienced. He's a really talented artist, and our first comic book we sold, it did really, really well. So these two Canadian guys, you know, starting up an own comic publishing company is, I guess, pretty unheard of, you know, but, you know, we had a dream and we decided, you know, why not go for it? And, you know, we did. And eventually we ended up landing like some big licenses. Transformers was one of them, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was another. And, you know, we did really, really well. Great experiences, you know, we even had a chance to go to California, Hollywood, and we sold a couple of our intellectual properties to some of the studios, and we met a lot of great people. But then the business started to not do so well. You know, the internet started to boom at that time, and you know, my brother and I made a really difficult decision, and we ended up, you know, closing the company. And you know, that was really hard for us because you know, we put a lot of blood and sweat into that company, and to see it to go down, you know, it was very hard for us. So, you know, again, you know, you know, I succeeded in something, but then, you know, it all came falling down again, and I was at the same spot where it's like, what am I going to do? You know, what am I going to do? And during that time, I had 3 daughters. I was married, and we ended up moving into a small condominium. So 5 of us, from, you know, a pretty good, decent sized house to like this small, tiny place that my sister was renting out. And we stayed there for a year. And then my son was born, my first son was born. And a miracle happened. We got approved for a mortgage. And then we moved into our new house. And when we moved to the new house, my second son was born. So, you know, it was me, my wife, and 5 kids. And so, you know, during that time, I guess I should be really grateful, because even though I was still searching for what I really wanted to do, you know, I've seen myself go up and I've seen myself go down, you know, but I really was trying to find, what do I really want to do? What is it for me that I would be excited to wake up every single morning? And I just couldn't figure that out. You know, but I'm very grateful that I spent, you know, all my days with my kids, you know, from taking them to school, preparing them lunch, you know, going out with them, you know, 10 years of that, you know, because I was, you know, basically a stay-at-home parent. And, you know, and you can't really buy any of that time, you know. So during that whole time when I'm at home, trying to figure out myself, I'm also grateful that I had the chance to spend that time with my family, you know. And prior to my accident, I think, you know, that time I was going through that moment where I was disappointed in myself. You know, I kept thinking to myself, why do I keep failing? You know, why can't I just succeed for once and be happy about what I'm doing? You know, and that one icy storm on that March in 2016, that changed everything. That completely changed who I am today. That completely changed the way I look at life, the way I look at people. It taught me a lot about learning to love yourself. Just learning about love itself, you know, it's so powerful. When I was depressed and going through anxiety, you know, I was so sad every single day. All I thought were negative thoughts. And that was the problem, because I wasn't able to think positive at all, because I kept telling myself that every day was going to be a horrific day. I'm never going to see another good day again. And, you know, when you keep thinking about that every single day, it's going to happen. You know, so every day it was just a nightmare. But that's going to lead on to my next video. I'm going to split it up in a couple of, actually, I'm not sure how many episodes it's going to be, but I really want to talk about my story in detail, so that you actually get an idea of what I had to go through, because so much went through those 2 years. It would take me at least 5 or 6 episodes to explain it all. So that will be my next video, the story of how it all started, and then you know, eventually you'll know more about how I healed from my depression and my anxiety. So I'll see you next video, and remember, your mind matters. Take care. Hey everyone, Roger here. I just wanted to make this video, send out a message to anyone that's, you know, going through some sort of depression or anxiety. I left a post about 2 days ago about the topic, about me going through the same thing, and I was reading through the comments, and you know, a lot of the messages that were left, you know, really, you know, hit me, because I knew that there were so many millions of people out there that are suffering just as I had, and you know, and it's definitely not the best place to be. You know, I've been there, I've seen it, I've felt it, I know what it's like. So if you are one of those people, or if you know someone that is actually going through that, you know, there is definitely hope. There is definitely a light to be seen. You know, I didn't see it when I was going through it. You know, it was black, basically. Like every day I would wake up and I just didn't want to go through the rest of the day. You know, I just wanted to either, you know, sleep in bed all day, but it was hard for me to do because you know, with my anxiety, I couldn't sleep. So, you know, that's when I had to start taking the medication. But, or you just want to say, you know, that's it. You know, I can't take life anymore, you know. And for me, when I woke up, I was like, you know, God, just take me, because I don't see a future ahead of me, you know. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of you that's going through depression or anxiety is going through the same thing, where you just don't want to do anything. And one of the main reasons why we feel that way is because, first of all, you know, there's a lot of negative thoughts running in your head. Second of all, you're not really physically active. So what happens is your mind is going to start to wander, and that allows, you know, all the negative thoughts to just pour into your mind, and then you start losing control of it, because you don't have a target of what thought to focus on, you know. And then you start believing everything your mind tells you, and that's when the worst part comes, because you can't handle, it's too overwhelming, there's too many negative thoughts, and basically you don't want to think about it anymore, so you just kind of shut it off, and you just want to like sleep. You know, you don't want to even continue the day, because there's nothing there to motivate you to do anything about changing your life. So what I learned personally was, you know, I was tired of feeling this way. You know, I saw my kids, you know, they were doing their own thing, but, you know, deep inside I was like, I need to be here for my family. I need to, you know, spend that time to help raise my children, but I can't do it, because what am I doing? I'm lying down on this couch crying all day, yelling at the top of my lungs, and I'm scaring them. So, I made the decision, to get up, and push myself to want to become better, to heal myself so that, everyone that surrounds me can feel that love that I can give back to them, because if you don't have that love within yourself, then it's going to affect the people that are, going to be close to you. So I chose to focus on one particular thing, because I was tired of listening to my mind telling me, your life sucks, you're not worth it, hate yourself more, sleep in bed, don't do anything about your life. I was listening to that all day long, and I said, that's enough. I need to stand up for myself, and I got to fight for my life to make it better. So I challenged myself. And my basement, over the 2 years that I was actually lying down on the couch doing nothing, it was a mess, because everybody was just shoving downstairs in the basement, and you basically, when you walk down the stairs, you couldn't even get through it. So I started myself in this little corner, and I worked my way out of it. I went through every single box. I threw away as much as I could that I didn't think that was necessary to keep. And that trained me to really focus on one particular thing. And that allowed me to not think about all the negative thoughts, And it took me 3 weeks to do, 36, I think it was like 36 garbage bag fulls. But every single day I woke up and I had a purpose. I had a purpose to accomplish something. And when you're going through depression or some sort of anxiety, the first thing you wake up is like, oh my gosh, my day is gonna be horrible. I'm never, this is what I thought too, I'm never gonna have happiness again. How am I gonna find it? And you just want a miracle to happen, where it's like you wake up and you just want to be healed. But it's not gonna happen that way. It's gonna take a lot of hard work, to get yourself back up to the top of the mountain. When you're going through a dark time, you're going to find yourself at the lowest point. And in order to get, back up there, you're going to have to take those little steps. And every single day, it's not going to seem like, you're getting anywhere. But as long as you're trying every single day, even if it's a small little thing, eventually you're going to get there. 2 years ago, how you see me today, I was completely different. I would consider myself a monster. I'd look into the mirror and I'd stare at myself and I'd say, oh my gosh, I hate you, you're worthless. And I'd be yelling and swearing at myself. And, I didn't take care of myself. I lost 25 pounds during that time. I wasn't eating, I wasn't showering. I wasn't being physically active, and all those have to be changed. Take a step every single day to change something, to better yourself, so that you can, eventually, get to the point, where I am now. Fortunately, I did all what I had to do to get to where I am today. But you can do it too. So if you're waking up in the morning and you're thinking that there's no life after this, there is definitely life. There is definitely happiness. There's definitely joy. And you have to keep your faith, keep your hope, never lose hope. Okay, I almost did, but I was able to hang on, and and I worked really, really hard to get to where I am. And I know that if I can do it, millions of people can do it too. Always look for that light, and maybe you need to talk to more people that can inspire you or something, because I remember people were telling me, just think positive, don't worry, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. But the thing is, coming from someone that hasn't gone through depression or anxiety, they don't know how you actually feel. right? Because it's something that you actually have to experience. And then when you can relate to someone through a conversation who's actually gone through it, it will actually be easier because they understand you. So if you need to speak out to someone that has gone through it or something, message me anytime. I'm available to respond. It might take me a while to respond to you, but please leave a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. There's so much more to life than sadness, and I hope this message can give you that hope to hang in there, to work on yourself, to be a better version of yourself, so that you can find your happiness and light again. Take care, and I look forward to hearing your messages if you want to speak with me. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about, balance in life in general. Our life is pretty much like a roller coaster if you really look at it. I've going through those ups and downs, and realizing that life can't be perfect all the time. So, like when we're going through a dark time, we're not really thinking about the brighter days, because there's just so much negativity going around our life that we don't even have the time or chance to think about something positive. But you also have to remember that like we've had brighter days before, we've been happy before, and those times will come. So when you're going downhill, you just have to remember that you're going to go uphill as well. That's what balance is about. And I talk about my tree a lot, and how it has to survive all 4 seasons. And and sometimes it's just gonna, it just wants to be beautiful, and it wants to grow and it wants to thrive. And when winter comes, all the leaves are gonna fall, and then but when summer comes, it's gonna, the leaves are gonna grow again, and that's how our life is gonna be like as well. And we always have to remind ourselves that we have to continue to move forward, because forward is the only direction to go. If you're always looking backwards, you're not going to be able to get farther in life. And so when things get dark, and when your life seems a little bit down, it's really difficult. I went through that when I was going through my anxiety and depression, and that was I was going downhill, and it was really, really tough for me to even see myself climbing up that hill again, but I managed to do it. I managed to climb back up to the top of that mountain. And if you are struggling right now and looking at your life and telling yourself there's no way I'm going to be able to get back up there, there's no way I'm going to be able to see myself get better anymore, and that's just normal for you to feel that way, because positivity is really hard to achieve. Finding your happiness is pretty hard to achieve. But you have to remember that happiness does exist. Happiness is a choice, and you have the power to make that choice to become happy again, to make that choice to heal yourself from whatever darkness you're going through, to have always have hope, to always have faith that your life is going to get better, and it can become better. Just believe in yourself. Believe that those brighter days are coming, that this darkness that you're going through is just a temporary thing that you're going through right now. So remember, there is balance in life, and if you're going through a dark time right now, it is going to end. It's temporary. It's not going to last forever, and you are going to see those brighter days again. So I hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you next video. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. Today I want to talk about comparing yourself to others. This is one of the things that are going to affect you in the long run, because it's a tough thing not to do, to compare yourself to other people. I mean, there are almost 8 billion people in the world. We are also connected to the world through the internet, and it's not like how it was before, where we weren't connected to the internet, right? But now we get to see people from all over the world and see how they live their life, and whether they're successful or not, we tend to look at the people that are successful, or people that are, beautiful physically, or they have nice bodies, or whatever the case may be, right? So we look at them and we look at ourselves and we tell ourselves, hey, you know what, how come I'm not like them? And then you start to focus more on their life, and then you lose focus on your own life, which is the most important thing, is that the more you focus on someone else's life, then the less you're going to focus on yourself. And one of the bad things about doing that is that you have to remember that they are on their own journey, right? And you have your own as well to think about trying to create for yourself. So when you're taking someone else's life, their story, or their journey, you're not really spending that time to create the life that you really want. Like, you can look at someone's life and you could take it as an inspiration. But when you start to look at them and say, you know what, I can't believe they drive that car, I can't believe they own that house, you can start feeling a little bit of jealous, right? And then that jealousy or that envy is going to affect the way you think about yourself, right? Which is going to lower your self-worth. And, and the more you compare yourself to their success and you look at yourself, then you may become unhappy about that, because, you're going to tell yourself, I wish I wasn't I wish I was them and not me, and the whole point of you being in this lifetime is to create your own path, your own journey. So you have to look at their experiences, look at their success, on how they became successful, right? These are the positive things you can look at when you compare yourself to others. Don't look at them and say, I wish I was them, and I can't believe that they are that successful, but they worked really hard to get to where they are. You have to think about how the effort that they put in to get to their success, right? Their success is just a result of the hard work that they put in to get to that level. So you have to look at yourself and tell yourself, hey, you know what? If I want to be successful just like them, then I'm going to have to work just as hard, right? Because, for anybody that's famous or successful, that may not be for you, there's a lot of things that come with being successful or rich or being famous. They have to go through a lot of things too that can cause anxiety or depression, right? So, just because they are well off or better off than you, it doesn't mean that they are happy, right? They could be going through a lot of problems as well, right? So you have to find out what makes you happy. What is you, because everyone is unique. You are unique, just as they are. And you have to try to find what it is that is going to, bring you that joy and happiness, so you can continue moving forward and creating, the new opportunities for yourself, instead of trying to copycat somebody, because, you have this physical body and you're always going to be you. They are their own unique person, right? And you can't be exactly like them, and you don't want to be a copy of someone else, because if someone looks at you and say, hey, look, you're exactly like that person over there, right? You want someone to say, like famous people and that have qualities that you can recognize them, and hey, I know that guy's voice, or I know that guy's acting skills or whatever, because they have their own charisma, their own personality, right? So if you are a copycat of someone and someone tells you that, oh, you're exactly like that person, right? You don't want to be compared to someone like that. You want someone to say to you, like, wow, you are incredibly unique. And I know it's hard. We're all trying to find ourselves. We're all trying to find that one thing that's going to make us different from everyone else, right? But these are all these little steps, the chapters that are happening through your journey is gonna bring that out in you, right? For me, I had to go through different experiences in my life, right, to finally figure out exactly what I had a passion for, which was writing quotes and helping people. When I was a little younger, I knew that one of the things I really wanted to do was, I was very intrigued and very interested in people, but I didn't know how that was going to affect, I didn't know that my future career was going to be related to that until years after, right? So, and I stopped looking at other people's lives as I wish I had that car, I wish I had those clothes, I wish I had that big house. I really believe that if you want happiness and you want less problems and less stress, then your life needs to be a little bit more simple. And that's how I try to, that's how I see it. The more simple your life is, the more happier you can be. And it's so important, not when it comes to comparing yourself to others, that you have to really focus on yourself, because you're spending too much time and energy, your energy and your time, thinking about how you can become like that person or exactly like that person because you want their life. It's not about you wanting their life. You have to focus on what you want for your own life, because this is your journey, this is your path, this is your life, right? So, these are things that you have to figure out. Look at the people and that do inspire you, right? Use their success stories. Try to figure out what are the things that they do on a daily basis and how hard they work to get to that level, so that you can teach yourself, so that you can get to that level, but not to be exactly like them. Whether it's like, they're a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, they're making this so much amount of money, and you're just like, oh, I want to be rich just like that. But do you really want to be a doctor? Do you really want to be a lawyer, right? Are you just going there because of the money? Because you have to think about, like, if you really want to live your life with joy and happiness, it's about doing something that you really love. So it really does start from there, because you have to find something that you can wake up in the morning, you can get off bed and you be excited to go to that workplace of yours, or you can tell yourself, I'm so happy that I'm doing this for a living. That's the most important thing, because when you start working your passion, when you're involved with your passion, then that money that you're making is just bonus to you, right? So money is good. It's always good. It's nice to be rich, right? But you also have to think about, you need happiness too, right? Money isn't everything, even though money is king, right? But happiness first, definitely. And when you stop comparing yourself to others and you start focusing on yourself, and you start to figure out exactly who you want to be, like truly want to be, right? Then that happiness is just going to carry forward, and things are going to get better for you. So try not comparing yourself to others. Try focusing on yourself instead of other people's lives. And the more you focus on yourself, the more you can figure out what are the things that bring you joy and happiness. Then the more your life is going to be more of a wonderful experience for yourself. So I hope this video helps, and I'll catch you next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. This morning I was walking my dog, and as I was walking, I was looking to the trees, and I was listening to the beautiful sounds the birds were making, and that's just a sign that spring is coming close, which is pretty crazy, because it's like winter just kind of flew by in a flash. And it made me remember about how, when I was going through my anxiety and depression, that those days that I was lying on that couch, I was having such a bad time trying to think of something positive and just trying to get my mindset going, to get me going through the day. And that made me, by listening to the birds chirping, made me realize that I remembered that happiness is a choice. Because when I was lying on that couch, I wasn't even thinking about that, at the time, because I couldn't even think about happiness at all. But it came down to the point where, when it got really, really bad, I had to make some sort of decision to change my life, and that decision was to choose to be happy. And when I was listening to those birds this morning, and I closed my eyes and I thought about it, I was just in this moment where I could just be at peace, just listening to them chirping really happy made me happy, and that made me start thinking about being happy, and that's something to think about when you're trying to think of a way to try to get your life moving, to try to get things going in your life. And because it's so hard, because you're constantly thinking of negative things, and those negative thoughts are so strong that it's going to block away most of your happy thoughts. That sometimes you just have to close your eyes, maybe even just go outside like what I did, and just open your ears, listen to nature. Listen, like right now I can hear the snow melting, I can hear the water flowing and dripping from like people's roofs, and that even those sounds make me happy. Listening to maybe like a dog bark can make me happy, and sometimes you just have to open your senses and just allow that to enter inside you, to open up windows and doors inside of you, so you can allow that happiness, you can allow that joy to enter into your life, and then that can provide you a little bit of a spark, right, to get you to start thinking more positive. So if you are living in a place where it's nice and sunny, right today it's actually pretty warm, just taking a walk, like what I'm doing now. I'm just strolling, but later on I'll probably take my dog for a longer walk and just breathe in the air, just look around you, look at nature, and if it's sunny there, definitely the sun is going to help you, So there's a lot of things out there that can help you to make you forget about the negative thoughts, to make you forget about how bad your day is or how bad your life has been, up to a point, and you just have to start focusing on the happy things in life instead of continuously thinking about the bad things that are affecting you, that are making you feel the way you're feeling now, or making you feel the way you're feeling for the past month, 2, or maybe even a year or so. So everything is a choice. The things that you're going to do, your outcome in your life is going to be the choices that you make. So one of those choices that you should make is choose to be happy. And once you do that, your life is going to change dramatically, like it did with mine. When I chose the choice, when I made the decision that I wanted to become happy, I did whatever it took to get me to the level where I can enjoy my joy and happiness again. And I know you can do it too, because I was able to do it. And if you have that will and that determination to make it happen, you definitely can do it. So hope you enjoyed this video. I will catch you next one, and hope you're having a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, this is Kona. She's my angel. She's a Yorkie Pom, and we picked her up when she was around 4 or 5 months old, I think, around. And she has made a huge difference in my life. During that time I was really bad. My anxiety was pretty bad. My depression was pretty bad. And my family, one day we're talking about it while I was like lying down on the couch. And they're like, oh, we want to buy a dog and all that stuff. And I was like, there's no way that we're going to be able to get a dog, because you guys can't even take care of me, and I can't even take care of myself. So if you bring a dog into the family, like how am I supposed to, because everyone had to go to school, they had to go to work, and I was left at home just by myself. And sometimes my mom would come over during that time until she actually came over every day. But I was so against it. But you know what? They actually went out and they just did it anyways. And they brought her home, and when she came home, like, you could just feel the energy shift in the house, from like really dark to gradually getting lighter and lighter. And just like, look at her eyes and like her nose and like everything about her. It's like pure love, and that's why, there's a reason why, dog is spelled God backwards, is because they are an extension of God, and it's like, it's just pure love. And, every night before I go to bed, she's on my bed, so I would like just kiss her like this, and then I just like inhale, like just right, sweetie, and just kiss, and then I would just like inhale all that positive energy before I go to bed, and it makes such a huge difference. I mean, she absolutely changed my life. And because before I had her, I lost that sense of love, loving myself, just love in general. And when she came in, to our family, it's like she introduced it to me again. She doesn't have to say a word. She just has to look at me. You just have to look at her eyes. You know, right, sweetie? Right? Okay, wait. I think she needs to go up. Hold on, stay. And okay, go ahead. And if you're like, if you're ever thinking about getting a dog, or you know, or you feel a little bit alone, or you're thinking that, you know, you need something to start loving, you really should think about maybe adopting a dog, or maybe just going on, and if you can afford one, to buy one, and just try the experience. Not try, but like just have them as a part of your life, because they just look. I mean, it's incredible how powerful they are. You know, they don't expect anything. They just, you know, they just want to be loved, and they return it back to you. And you know, that's and love heals. I'm telling you right now that love can heal so many things. So yeah, she really has done so much, and that's why I call her my angel, because I couldn't even imagine if we never got her, where I'd be today, because she's changed our family, she's changed me, she's changed the way I see life now, because I'm always surrounded by her, because I'm at home all day. So, you know, she's always exchanging her love to me, and I give that back in return. And I try my best to spend as much time as I can with her, because, you know, dogs, depending, don't really have, I mean, some dogs have a really long lifespan, but, you know, I had a dog in my early 20s, and she only lived 2.5 years. And that really hurt me so much, and it took me so long to get rid of that inner pain, you know, and I was so afraid to, you know, get another dog, because I was afraid to feel the same way. But, you know, so I'm so happy that she's here, and I don't know what I would do without her. So this is Kona, and she's just chilling here on the grass. So if you have the time, or you're feeling that you need a little bit of love in your family, or for yourself, you know, think about it. Think about adopting a dog or buying one, and you will see the difference that they can do to change your life. Until next video, I will talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. A couple of days ago, my 11-year-old son, came home after school, and he was like, "Hey Daddy, I gotta show you something. It's from school, and can you take a look at it? There's some highlights on it and stuff, but can you read it for me? And just tell me what you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." But at the time I was working, so I was like, "I'll read it later when I'm done work." So the day went on, and it was about nighttime, and I was just about to go to bed, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. You know, I have to take a look at my son's papers," which is like right here. He gave it to me. And so I was reading it, I was going through it, and then right at the last page, I read something, and it said, "When I graduate, I want to ... And at the bottom, his answer was, "Live life." And when I read that, I was like, wow, that's a pretty amazing answer for someone his age. And it hit me, because I was like, you know what, that's something that I would actually write, you know? So I was like, live life. For someone that young to say something, because I remember when if I was to be 11 years old and my teacher gave me that question, I think my answer would be something like, have fun, go play, or something like that. It wouldn't be something like live life. And that made me think, like, if 11-year-old can have that mindset, like, to live life, then, you know, when like people maybe my age or in their 20s or 30s, they should also think that as well, you know, because, you know, life is like an experience that we all have to look at, because we get this one life and we have to make use of it every single day. He may be 11 and there may be a lot of things that he hasn't experienced yet, but he's seen stuff, from our house. His grandfather passed away when he was 1, which is my father. He's seen me, he's seen a lot of love in the family too. And he also saw me when I was going through my anxiety and depression, when I was screaming all day and crying all day. He's seen me at my worst, right? And he's seen his father at the point where it was I was sick. And going through his mind, I was wondering, is he thinking, is his father ever going to heal? And he might be thinking that, even when he goes to school, he might even be thinking about, I hope my father gets better, or is he going to get better? But, I was able to heal myself, and he saw that I was able to come from a very, very dark place, and I was able to heal myself and fill my life and full of light, right? So, that may have given him a little bit of hope to see that, even when you're going through a dark time, and that could be a chapter in your life, that, things can get better for you, or if you work hard on yourself, then, your life can actually get better, even when you're in a really tough spot in your life. And then another thing about living life, when you look at a roller coaster, like a really, really big, huge roller coaster with a lot of ups and downs and straight paths and all that, and you're like, oh man, I want to try it out, but you're too scared to, because it's like, oh, I don't know if I could survive it, but deep inside you really, 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 really want to experience it, so you take that leap of faith, you get on it, you go up the hill, and you look down, and you're like, oh my gosh, man, it's going to be crazy when I go down, and you go down, and it's thrilling, but yet it's scary at the same time, and then, you do loops and all that, and that's what life is. Life is about all, the ups and downs. You're going to get some smooth times, you're going to get some bumpy times, but that whole thing, that whole roller coaster is an experience, right? And in your life, you can't expect to have a smooth life. It's never going to be like a solid straight path where it's just everything is going to be okay. We're going to experience all these things, and that's why we're here. All these experiences that we're going through is to help us become stronger, to take us on different paths, or your journey to lead you to finding who you really are, who you're supposed to become. And maybe that path will lead you to finding what your passion is, your purpose. For me, I didn't find it until later on in my life, which was just recently. Even though I tried different things which I enjoyed to do, like singing and acting and stuff, or creating my own company with my brother, publishing comic books and stuff like that. Those are things that I enjoyed to do, but it didn't work out for me, right? But I had to go through a hard time in my life to, finally find what I wanted to do, which is writing quotes, and that's my passion. So just remember that if you're going through a dark time, tell yourself, when I'm going through if I'm going through a bad day and I'm thinking of some negative thoughts or something, there's 2 words I tell myself all the time, right? If I can't think of anything to say to myself, I say, just live. Those 2 words, just live. If you just say that to yourself and just really think about it, every single day you get a chance at life. You get a chance to do something about your life. And if you tell yourself just live, because you get the opportunity to live today, not a lot of people are going to get that chance, right? So, tell that to yourself. That might work, because it definitely works for me. And, just go out there and think, live life. Enjoy it as much as you can, experience as much as you can. Even if you're going through dark times, good times, whatever times you're going through, still enjoy it and be grateful for every single day. Be grateful that you have a chance to do something today, tomorrow, to make your life better, to become better, and that is the goal to work for. So hope you're having a great day, and I will see you next video. Take care, bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. Today I want to talk about miracles. The first thing that I think of of a miracle, because everybody has their own perspective on what their miracle is that, number one, the miracle of life. Life itself is a miracle on its own. Our planet that is the home of millions of species, that includes us. And the number two thing I look at miracle is that you get a chance every single day. Like if you're able to wake up every morning to experience what the world has to offer, that already on its own is a miracle. And the third miracle that we all look for is the one that's going to save us. I wrote a quote that says, miracles do exist, but it will come when you need it the most. And the purpose of me making this video today was to tell you about, two miracles that actually happened to me during the past 6 years, right? So everyone knows that, or not everyone, if you've just joined my page, I 6 years ago, I slipped on a concrete step on black ice. I hit the back of my head. And, if I hit it, in a different area of my body, or, if I landed even in the wrong position, I may not be here today, talking to you or writing all my quotes and stuff. So that was a miracle on its own already for myself to be able to survive that impact, right? And the second one is the one I want to talk about. So it was around midway through my anxiety and depression, or actually it was close to third quarters of it before I started actually healing myself. And I was at a point where I really couldn't take it anymore. I felt I was a burden to my family. I was so sad, and it was so dark, and I was blaming everything on myself. That my family was falling apart. It was because of me. So I took that guilt, and I told myself that maybe I just need to leave the house. Maybe I just need to leave my family, and they'll be happier without me. So I'm not sure who was home at the time, but I packed my bags. I packed a backpack. I think I had 2 bottles of water. I had my wallet, $78 of cash, and an umbrella. Okay, that's all I took with me. And because I was afraid that it might rain, and I left my house. I didn't say anything. I didn't say a word. I didn't even, tell anyone that I was going out. I just opened the door and walked right out. And I think that my goal for that day was that I just wanted to keep on walking until I collapsed, and then we'll see what happens, and it's so weird because when I look back at it, I was like, if I were to that today, I wouldn't be able to do that. But, my mind was in such a fragile state, and, I wasn't thinking straight. And, I just wanted to just, leave my family without saying goodbye. And that's even crazy for me to think about now. But, so I kept walking. I just kept walking and walking. And there was actually 2 paths that I could take. One was Yonge Street and one was Bathurst. But I decided to choose Yonge Street because, there were like coffee shops and stuff like that along the way, just in case, I got thirsty or something. But anyways, I kept walking, and, on my way, while I was walking, I was, talking to, I looked up and I was like, if I was meant to be on this path, or if there was a sign, give me a sign to show me that that I should be more hopeful, that I have a bright future. I kept saying that if something happens to me right now today, then that will be the sign to tell me that I need to go back home, right? But I kept walking. It was like 4 hours, and I was getting tired. My legs were cramping up, and there was an intersection I was really close to where my sister was living, right? And I was approaching that intersection. And I told myself that day that if I continue walking, I'm just going to keep walking. But I do have an option. I can turn right, and I can go to my sister's house and just call it quits and just go back home. And at that moment, I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep walking straight, right? So right before I crossed that street, that intersection, I see my sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, turn the corner, and the window opened, and my sister says, "Roger, what are you doing here?" And I couldn't believe the timing of that, where, I was just about to cross the street and my sister appeared out of nowhere, right? And she was actually on her way to my house because I think my mother told my sister that I went missing. And so, I told her, I was like, I really don't know. And from that day, thank God that happened to me. And that made me realize that, I was at the point where I was just about to just like end it, not end my life, but, just call it quits, and, God sent my sister and my brother-in-law to come save me right at that exact moment, and when she picked me up and she took me home, that's when I started to think about my life. That's when I started to think about my family. That's when I started to tell myself, Roger, you were given an opportunity. When I fell and hit my head on the back and had my concussion, that was already the first sign saying, here's another chance at life, And so I put that together and I told myself, you know what, I got to take this opportunity and I have to make the best out of it because I was given a second chance, So that's why I do what I do. And that's why I try to promote, joy and happiness and try to help as many people as I can, because I believe that, like if you are waiting for a miracle, that miracle is going to come to you when you do need it the most. And you have to be patient, because every day I was asking for a miracle that I wanted to heal myself, that I didn't want to be depressed or sad anymore. But it didn't come to the point until I finally decided that was it, and God gave me a sign, and he sent my savior, which was my sister and my brother-in-law, and so here I am today, healed, helping people, being grateful for every single day, living each day to the fullest. You are given today to do whatever you can to become a better version of yourself. I know it's difficult at times, but if you are waiting for that miracle, never lose hope on that, because because miracles are a rare thing. It's not something that is going to be given to you on a daily basis, right? And when you do need that miracle, it's going to come and it's going to help you. And after that happened to me, I just know that that you are always being watched. You're never alone, and that help is on its way. But during that time, while you're waiting for that, you need to try to help yourself. That's why I talk a lot about loving yourself. Show that you do love yourself, that you do care about yourself, that you do want to you want to get better, and you're doing your best every single day to make the best out of it, right? Because you don't know how many days you have, so you got to do the best you can each day, and try to become as happy as you can. I mean, that's our goal, right? To try to find our happiness. So work on that. Don't give up on miracles, because they do exist, and keep moving forward, and try to think positive as much as you can. Yeah, I know, even though it's hard at some times and stuff, but you can do it. I did it. It wasn't easy, but I was able to do it. So hope you're having a great day. I hope this video helped you, and keep on continue believing in those miracles, because one day they will come for you. So take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. Today I was sitting here on this porch, on this front porch. This is the actual place that I actually slipped and fell and had my concussion. And this is where I sit, where I write all my quotes. And today I was just thinking about my past, about what happened to me and where I was before all of that happened. I was in a situation where I was lost in life. And some of you may be going through that right now, telling yourself like, what is my purpose in life? I don't see myself doing anything in the near future, and you have a lot of worries, right, about your future, and you just have that. You don't have that motivation to do anything, because you just feel like you're stuck in life. And I was there, right before my accident. My brother and I used to have this business, and it went bankrupt. It was very, very successful, and we both thought that, we're set, but unfortunately things didn't work out the way we wanted to, and, I to myself was telling me that I failed again. I succeeded so many times, but I failed so many times as well, and it was so discouraging. didn't believe in myself anymore. And I was telling myself, why should I try? Why should I work hard if this is going to happen to me every single time, right? And I was lost. And feeling lost causes you to kind of lose yourself in a way where you start not having faith in yourself anymore, right? Because you tell yourself that you put so much effort into doing something, but then why does it always seem like it never works out the way you want it to? So the purpose of this video is to let you know that now that I have discovered it for myself, that, like everything that you're going through right now, all those little chapters, whether it's good or bad, they are all these little parts that are, one day gonna all stick together and glue together, and you're gonna realize that they are all part of you, for you to discover who you are going to be, who you're supposed to be. Now, within this time where you're experiencing these chapters, you have to also realize that time is very precious, right? We have to use the time we have on a daily basis and we have to utilize it and try to make it the best of each day and try to use as much time as possible. I know sometimes it's hard to actually try to do something positive and to work on a better version of yourself, but that is the key here. If you feel that you're lost and you're spending your time overthinking, you're worrying, or you're telling yourself that you have no future, well, this is the energy that you're using. This is the energy that you're creating for yourself. You're creating this world for yourself that you can't see yourself doing something in the future, right? And that was exactly what I was doing before. I couldn't see what was ahead of me. So because I was creating this world that I don't want to go into the future, because I'm so scared. I'm so scared about what's going to happen to me. I really don't see great things happening to me. So, and it started to become my reality, right? Every single day was just like a fog, right? And I couldn't see through it, until I started to realize that, hey, you know what? I have to start taking control of what's up here. I have to start creating my positive world. I have to start getting myself out of this position where I feel completely lost, right? But I was going through a time where this wasn't clear, right? But again, I had to start strengthening my mindset in order for me to have a clear vision of where I wanted to be, right? But if you look at yourself right now and you're telling yourself that you are lost, or you feel lost, and you have given hope because you just really don't see yourself going anywhere, right? If you look at my story and you see where I came from, right? How I came from rock bottom, and if you've been following my Facebook page, you can see that with hard work, and when you start believing in yourself that you could truly make anything happen for yourself, right? I started to use every single day, like from when I wake up in the morning before I go to bed, and before I go to bed, I try to do as much as I can on a daily basis, because everything that you put out is going to affect you and your world in the next day, the next month, the next year, right? So you have to create these things on your todays to create a better tomorrow for yourself, right? So if you feel lost, that's okay. We all go through this process where we're just, we ask ourselves, we're kind of we can be disappointed about ourselves because we feel that we haven't accomplished a lot of things, or we haven't, there's a lot of goals that we haven't reached, and we haven't succeeded in many things in our life, right? But again, everything that you're going through right now, from your past to this day, these are all things that we are learning still, right? I'm still learning. We're all learning something in life, so that we can kind of extract that and take that information and see what we can learn from that, so that we can better ourselves and hopefully find out what we are here for, what your purpose is, right? My purpose when I found my purpose and my passion, it didn't come till later in my life. And prior to that, I was always trying to figure out, what is it that I really, really, really want to do? I wanted to wake up in the morning and say, hey, you know what, Roger? This is who I am. This is who I want to be. I love what I do, right? And now I can do that. And, I say this in some of my lives and stuff, my passion found me, and sometimes that may happen to you. You don't actually have to go out and search for your purpose. Sometimes you go through experience in your life and it's going to come to you, because you know why? Because you're going to be ready for it. The universe is going to say, okay, you've done everything you need to do. Now you can discover who you are supposed to be. And then from there, you're gonna feel that joy and happiness and that excitement about life, that excitement of knowing what your purpose is, what your passion is, right? So again, if you do feel lost, don't feel lost. We are all going through it. We are all going through experiences right now, and you are in a process of finding who you truly are. And one day, you are going to get there. Have patience. I learned to have, patience was one of the greatest things I learned through my journey, right? Going through anxiety and depression, and then hitting rock bottom, and then, healing myself, and then finding the light after the darkness, right? That took a long time for me to finally see the light, to see the other side. But everyone can do it. I did it. Okay. So you just have to hang in there and never lose hope. And one day that day is going to happen for you too, right? So keep moving forward and learn from what you can on a daily basis, and try to do as much as you can while you're here on this planet, right? Every single day you want to use that time wisely to try to focus on creating that better version of yourself. And once you start doing that, you're going to find that purpose. Either it's going to find you, or you're going to find it sooner than you think. So hopefully if this video helps, and I'll catch you next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. I'm standing here on my front porch. Today is such a beautiful day, so I thought I'd make a video. So on this front porch is the place where I had my accident, and I slipped and fell, and a lot of things happened from that day, right? But I look at it now as kind of like a blessing in disguise, because if I hadn't had fallen, slipped, and had my concussion and go through my anxiety and depression, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here today, right? Which is writing quotes and inspiring, motivating you all. And this is the place where I think a lot, and where I come up with a lot of my ideas for my quotes. And when I'm here, I like to look at what's around me, my surroundings, and one of them is my tree, which I'm going to show you right now. You've probably seen it a lot. It's my tree right there. Right now there's no leaves on it because obviously it's spring and the leaves are coming. And I have like a lot of this. I have this other tree here, and I have everything just seems like it's lifeless, right? Because we had winter and it went through a really harsh time, and you just look at it, and when the first impression that you get is like, oh, there's no life in this. But when you actually look at it right now, there is life. Look, it's the flowers and the leaves are coming out again, and it's been waiting for a whole season. It's almost been like 5 months, right? But that just proves and shows to you that there's so much life in this world and so much beauty. And you should look at your life and tell yourself that it's very similar to nature, because with nature there's balance, right? We have the 4 seasons. Not everywhere has all 4 seasons, but for the places that do, you can see that there is growth, there is rebirth, there is a sense of a new life, right? So if you're going through a hard time right now, and I was going through the same thing too, where I thought that, everything was over, my life was over. I couldn't see what was ahead of me. I couldn't see any bright days. But, you have to tell yourself that because you're going through a dark chapter in life, it doesn't mean you can't have a happy ending, right? And I was telling myself that all the time after, when I was trying to heal myself, keep looking forward and towards those brighter days, because, the future, no one knows what's going to happen in the future. So why am I creating a future, telling myself every single day that it's going to be a bad day? It's going to be dark. And, and once I started changing my mindset and refreshing, retraining my thoughts and the way I was thinking, you know, I could see it. I can start seeing those brighter days. I can start seeing that there is a good future ahead of me. And so I continue to think that way. I told myself every single day, you know, one day, Roger, you know, when you heal yourself, you're going to be able to find your joy and happiness again. You're going to be able to spend those special moments with your family, and you're going to be able to help make them smile again and enjoy their love again. You know, because I lost all of that. You know, that time when I felt so alone and so empty inside, I had to do something about my life so that I could change it, so I can start receiving that love again, and I can start giving that love out again, right? So, you know, if you're going through a really tough time right now, remind yourself, look at nature, look at how they have to go through the seasons, and they have to go through some cold and dark weather too, right? Like rainstorms, thunderstorms, you name it, tornadoes, but, you know, in time, they will grow back, right? And so there's always hope. Never lose hope, never lose faith. And if you continue to think like that, keep your mindset positive, you are going to see those brighter days. You know, you are going to come out of this darkness, because I talk a lot about, you know, darkness isn't the end. You know, it is temporary, but you can change that and make it, you know, make your life positive again. And just start thinking about those brighter days, and they will come, and you will see a rainbow. Okay, so take care. Have a great day, and I hope this video helped you. So I will see you next video. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. Today I wanted to talk about anxiety and depression. You know, one of the topics I really like to talk about because, you know, I went through it. And as I was going through it, and as I was healing myself, I was always thinking about, you know, like how other people were feeling the same way as I was. And, you know, one of the main reasons why I do what I do, to write quotes and to help people, is because I know the feeling is horrible. I know that it is one of the toughest things that you can ever possibly go through, you know, and even hitting rock bottom, which I did as well. You know, hitting rock bottom is just, you know, even worse, right? It's like, you know, I never imagined myself being in that position ever. You know, I've been sad before. I've been, you know, semi-depressed maybe, you know, but I've never really experienced how it felt like to feel that you hated yourself so much that you didn't really care about anything in the world. You know, when I was going through my darkness, I hated everything. You know, I hated people. I hated the world. I hated everything that surrounded me, you know, not my family, obviously, because, you know, they were there, but I pushed everything aside. I pushed them away. You know, I didn't care about how I looked, how I felt. And, you know, I had troubles even looking into the mirror most days, because I just couldn't bear to stand looking at myself, because, you know, I saw a version of myself that I didn't like. And, you know, when I was going through that hard time, I didn't care. You know, I didn't care about, you know, my appearance or my health. You know, all I was doing was thinking about negative things, negative thoughts. And that, you know, that I talk about a lot is about, you know, always thinking about negativity all the time, constantly. And if you're going through anxiety and depression, that is like probably 100% or close to what you're doing every single day, is because you know, there is so much that you hate or that hurts deep inside, that you're using that anger or that hatred, and it's causing those thoughts to, you know, to become even bigger, because you can't see a light after. You know, it just keeps getting darker and darker. So, you know, if you're going through that right now, I want you to look at me right now. You know, I was in a position where I was like in the darkest place. But if you see me today, I'm not like that anymore. And, you know, the quotes that I write, the videos that I do, these are all things that, you know, that are going through my mind as I'm writing them, on how I see life, my perspective on how you can change your life and make it better, you know, because I did that. So, and look at where I came from. You know, I came from a very dark place, but I was able to come out of it, to come out of this darkness, because I found the light. You know, I found my joy and happiness. And I know it sounds like, well, he did it, but I don't know if I can. You know, I thought about that same thing too. You know, I thought about, I'm never gonna be happy like everyone else. I'm always gonna be sad. I'm always gonna see darkness. And that's when I almost gave up, you know, but I kept thinking to myself, but what if I changed the way I thought? What if I decided I wanted to be happy? What if I decided that I didn't have to listen to my mind tell me all these negative thoughts every single day? You know, what if I became the boss of my life? And I took that step, and I made sure that every single day I worked towards that goal to become happy again, you know, and it came true, you know. So you might be feeling sad, depressed. You might be feeling that, you know, there's nothing bright, that nothing is going to be bright coming along towards you to the future, but you don't know that. You don't know what's going to be in the future, right? You don't know what's going to happen. You know what happened in the past because it's happened already. You know what's happening today because it's happening to you right now, but you do have the choice to change, to make the difference, you know, to make that difference for your future, to make it become better, right? But you first have to work on yourself. You know, you have to start, like I always say, you have to start loving yourself. You have to start being more grateful. You have to start thanking for the things that you have in your life already. Start appreciating the people that are caring and loving you right now, you know, and these are all the things that need to happen before you can start to come out of that thick mud, and that fog that you can't see through, you know, because I did it, you know, I did it, and you can do it too. I know you can, because I had so much doubt in myself. I'd never believed that I could do it, but I was able to do it. So, you know, if you're going through anxiety and depression, you're not alone, okay? There are millions of people that are going the same thing as you are, and they're finding some sort of hope, you know, for them to carry them through this darkness. And you just have to believe in yourself, believe that you can do it, you know, believe that you're going to see that light again, and you eventually will. So I hope this video really helps you. I'm going to do a lot more videos talking about anxiety and depression, because it is a really important topic, and I just want to, you know, try to inspire as many people as I can, to give hope to as many people as I can, to let them know that anxiety and depression is not the end, and that there is always a light at the end of this darkness that you're going through. So enjoy this weekend, take care of yourself this weekend, and I will catch you next video. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. Today I'm going to walk this park. When I was really sad and depressed and lying on my couch, it was really difficult for me to come out and you know, get some fresh air and, you know, enjoy the nature and stuff, because I was just so depressed. But sometimes I wanted to come out and just, I don't know if it was because I felt sorry for myself or I wanted people to feel sorry for me, but, you know, I took this path and I walked alone, just to think of what my future was going to be. And most of the time, you know, my future wasn't bright the way I was thinking. You know, my mindset, it wasn't bright at all. So I decided to take this path. I'll show you a little bit of it right now. It's a really nice path. There's a lot of trees and stuff in it. But most of the time I took this path alone, you know, and it gave me a chance to really think to myself. Because sometimes when you're alone, that's when you can find more about yourself, right? And I just wanted to take a walk down this path again, just to let you know what it was like back then and what I did while I was, you know, walking on this path. And most of those days, they weren't great at all. You know, they was horrible. I was crying most of the time while I was walking here. There was one time my brother flew back all the way from Hong Kong when he found out about my anxiety and depression. And before he arrived, I actually came here at nighttime, and you know, I just looked up into the sky. Right now it's beautiful, there's like no stars or anything like that. I looked up in the stars, and I was just asking, why is my life like this? Am I ever gonna get healed? And is there a light? You know, there's a nice light behind me right now, but and I was crying because, and I knew my brother was coming, and I was so happy and sad at the same time, right? So he came, and he actually came to this park with me many times. And one time, so I'm just gonna go this way here. One time, we came over here on this hill, and the sun was setting over there by the, you can see there's a building there, it's a school, and I just sat here like this, and we were sitting here talking, and he was massaging my back. He was massaging me for at least an hour, I think, you know, just massaging and telling me that everything's gonna be okay. And, you know, and it was relaxing to have my brother there beside me to show me his support. And it was, I think, one of the most happiest moments I had during that time for a long time, because it was so dark. And the words he was telling me was very promising, you know. But the one thing about when you're going through anxiety, depression, no matter what anyone tells you, whatever they say to you, it goes through one ear and out the other, because, you know, any of those positive thoughts that you're thinking of, they don't feel like they exist, right? You tend to just block them and ignore them. Oops. And I did take his advice, you know. He was just telling me, you know, to take care of yourself. You know, he says you need to start loving yourself. And, you know, that's what I did. You know, I took his advice and I started to do so. But there's a lot of times I came here alone, right? Most of the times, you know, my mother was trying to get me out to walk with her. And just to give me a little bit more comfort, you know. I think those were one of the best walks I had with my mom. She was there for me 24/7 pretty much. And there was this one time I was walking with her, and she had something in her hand, and it was at this point right here. Right before this path leads into the actual park area. She opened her hand, and she had a little pouch in her hand, and she said, "Roger, this is for you." And so I opened it, and it was a cross. And she told me, you know, Jesus is here for you always. You know, he's watching you, he loves you, and he's going to make sure that you're going to get better. And I almost cried, because when I saw it, and I held it in my hand, and I put it on, I could already feel the love, his presence, and that day was very special to me, because after I put that cross on, my life, I could start to see my life changing a little bit, you know. And I spoke to him every day after that, you know. I spoke to him, and I was asking him, you know, at first I was asking him, why me? What did I do? I'm a good person. I don't know why I'm experiencing this, right? And just to, before I went to bed, you know, I would even watch YouTube videos and just listen to, you know, anything to do about Jesus, you know, to comfort me, to put me to bed. And then I would always talk to him, and says, show me a sign that things are going to get better. Show me a sign that, you know, I have a future ahead of me, and that I'm going to heal one day. And eventually it did. You know, these walks in the parks are so crucial, even though it's hard for you to actually go outside because you just want to stay inside and not do anything. But, you know, you have to make that choice to do something anything that can give you some sort of positivity, you know, to give you a little bit of momentum. I'm just gonna sit down here. A little bit of momentum so that it could carry over to the next day, right? So, but there was one time I was so sad, and it's actually over there, the hill. I left my house. I didn't say anything to my kids. I didn't say anything to anybody, my mom, my wife. I just left and I walked here to the park. And I went to, I'm actually at the park right now, so I went to, there's a park right there. Before there weren't any houses, over there in the back, I was sitting up on that hill over there, way back at the end. And I was just like, I think I'm just gonna leave my house because I felt like I was a burden to my family. And I was just sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking, and then all of a sudden, I looked over. I was gone for about maybe an hour or so. I saw my mom, my daughter, and my son, and they were walking because they were looking for me because I guess I was missing, so they were trying to find out where I was. And when I saw them looking for me, you know, they were worried for me and they wanted to see me, they wanted to help me. I cried my eyes out. You know, I cried my eyes out because I was like, Roger, there's so much love. Why are you running away from it? What are you doing? You know, your family wants you to get better. So, you know, start making a choice right now, you know, to find something to change your life. Because you want to see your family smile again, right? You want to see your mom happy, even though it's so difficult because you're so sad. And I will always remember that day because it made me realize how grateful I should be. How grateful I should be that I have such a loving family and, you know, my loving kids, my wife, you know, my brother, my sister, and my friends that were there to support me. And, you know, it helped me so much to push myself to start finding ways to love myself, you know, and that wasn't easy. Trying to find ways to love yourself, because at the beginning I had no idea how to love myself, you know. But through the experience I learned, you know, it was so dark. I hated myself so much. I was trying to, I think I needed to find out what it was like to hate yourself so much that you just want to find a way to reverse that. And you know, I was looking at all my flaws. I was creating this world that shouldn't have even existed, or these thoughts that I was creating was a place that nobody wants to be in, right? So I started loving myself. You know, I started taking care of myself. I started to bring back the things I pushed aside for so long back into my life. And all these little things helped me realize that, you know, I am going through a really tough time. You know, everyone's gonna go through dark chapters in their life. But how hard, how are you willing? How much willpower do you have? And how much determination do you have to make, you know, a positive growth in your life? What are you willing to do? How far are you gonna go to see your joy and happiness again? And I told myself, from this day forward, I'm not gonna let anything stop me. You know, my goal is to become happy again. My goal is to heal myself. My goal is to, after I heal myself, I'm gonna tell my story to other people. I'm gonna tell them, you know, that even though you're going through anxiety and depression, that there is a light, that there is always hope, that you can get better, you know. And it took me a while to finally recover, but you know, those promises I made for myself, I kept. And hopefully these videos that I do, you know, the quotes that I write there and the experience that I went through is going to help you, because at the same time it's helping me, right? So yeah, so this is the park I'm going through. It's beautiful right now, like compared to how it was 3 years ago when I was walking down the same path to how it is when I'm walking right now. Huge difference, huge difference. 3 years ago, I was hated myself. I would jog around this path, around and around. And now I can walk with joy and happiness. There's the other side of me that I thought I would never see, but I'm here. And I am so grateful to have the chance to do what I do, even though I went through a really dark ride, a dark chapter in my life. But I look at it now as a blessing in disguise, and I'm so thankful and blessed that I'm able to have this opportunity to help others find their joy and happiness. So, hope you enjoyed this walk with me at the park. I will catch you next video, and I hope you're having a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. I get a lot of questions asking me about the past and how they can forget about, worrying about the past. And I learned that a lot through my journey. When I used to think about the past, and I did that a lot, like frequently, and we can't help it. We can't help but think about the mistakes that we made, or some of the relationships that we've gone through, or trying to heal ourselves from a relationship that just ended. And we go through life, and there are a lot of chapters that happen in our past, and it's so hard to let go of those memories, especially the memories, the ones that affect us really deep inside our heart, and our failures. We look at our failures and we wish that we can go back in the past and we can fix it, but we have to remember that we can't change the past, right? We can learn from the past, and we can take what we learned from those experiences and work on them on the present moment, so that we can create a better future for ourselves, right? So, like for myself, I ran into an issue where, my brother and I had a very successful business, and that business ended up having to, we ended up closing the business, and that really hurt us because we put our heart and soul into that business, and we did very, very well. We were very successful. And then, all of a sudden, I never would have thought that it would happen, but, we lost the business, and I had to start from scratch again, and so did my brother. We both had to start from scratch, and we both had to try to, figure, what we're going to do for our future, right? But it was so hard because I kept looking back into, what did I do wrong? What could I have changed? And it set me back many, many, many steps. And for relationships too, like before I was married, I had a 5-year relationship, and I thought she was the one. And one day she came up to me and she said, what, Roger, I don't love you anymore. And bam, that hurt me so much. And I was like, now what? And I kept clinging on to that relationship, wanting to get back. But at one point I just finally realized that that it was really the end, and I just kept going forward, but I eventually met other people. I dated some more, and these experiences that we have, these relationships, this is for people that are going through relationship problems, that that one person you might feel might be the one, right? And you're building up a relationship with them, and you're building memories. You're creating special moments with them, and all of a sudden it just ends. And we remember it up here, and we remember it most importantly in our hearts, and it affects us and it hurts us so much. But you have to also look at what is it for me in the future, because you are going to definitely meet new people, right? There are going to be new opportunities for you. So don't close those doors for yourself to see what's going to happen in the future, because the more you live your life in the past, the less you're going to give yourself the opportunity to open the doors and create new paths for you, so that you can continue on your journey. Because I learned that, because before I kept thinking about the past, and I was stuck there. I was basically living in my past. And so as the days moved forward, I was still living back in the past. So I had to stop doing that. I had to stop thinking about the life that I lived back in there, and I started focusing on what I need to do today, so that I can create a better and brighter future for me in the future, and it worked. It worked so well. And if you can just put that in your mindset and tell yourself, yes, these things happened to me in the past. Yes, I made mistakes in the past, or this relationship didn't work out. But you have to remember, the future, you do not know what's going to happen. So the only way you're going to find out what is going to happen is if you continue moving forward, right? And sometimes you just have to cut off those chains, or that anchor that's holding you down, and that's stopping you from moving forward to find your joy and happiness. Because the more you think about the dark stuff in your past or your mistakes and stuff, the farther you're going to be away from getting to reach to your joy and happiness, if that is your goal. And my goal was to really to get that joy and happiness back into my life. So I did it. I made the choice. And it's hard. It's hard to let go of the things that happened in your past, right? A lot of people have a lot of troubles doing that. But there are steps involved to be able to, you have to strengthen your mindset. You have to believe in yourself and believe that, better days are coming, that, your future can be bright, but you have to let go of your past, right? Don't let go of those good and precious memories, those memories that remind you how beautiful it is to be alive, those special moments that make you smile and remember how happy and good life can be, right? Bring those along with you with your journey, and that's going to create that positive momentum for you to carry forward. So hopefully this video helps. Continue to think positive. Take little steps. If you just broke up, or you just recently something happened to you that you wish you can go back to the past and fix it, you have to let it go and learn from that mistake, and take those lessons with you along your journey so that you could correct yourself and make your life better and more positive. So I hope you like this video, and I will catch you next time. Take care. Bye. Hey everyone, Roger here. So 2 days ago it was my birthday, and when I woke up, I was really excited because it was my birthday, obviously. But I went to my computer to go check my page so that I could, reply to the comments from my post. And when I opened it, I saw the amount of followers, and I was in complete shock. I didn't think that it would happen on my birthday, but it did, which I thank God so much. And it was 1 million followers, 1 million followers. It was something that, when I first started, I just saw it as it was like, it was going to be a long way until I would get it, obviously, right? And I didn't even think that I would even hit 1 million, because I didn't really know how far my quotes would actually, how far it would reach, and or how many people would actually see my quotes. But it was such my biggest accomplishment, actually, my biggest accomplishment, my biggest milestone, and I couldn't have done it without the people that are following my page and everyone that's been sharing my quotes. And this even goes to my Instagram account and now my YouTube channel, right? So when I started healing myself through my anxiety and depression, and many of you who have been following me on my Facebook page know already that I made a promise to myself that if I was able to heal myself, like completely heal myself, I was going to do whatever possible, like whether it was like doing videos or writing quotes or whatever the case may be, because at the time I was reading a lot of quotes, that I would help as many people as I could, because at the beginning, I didn't believe that I was going to be able to, overcome my anxiety and depression. But as I was healing myself and training my mind and I started to focus more, I started to see a little bit more light, and that light started to become more brighter and brighter and brighter. And I started to believe in myself more. And I started to actually see myself, in a situation where I can finally see my family be happy again, that I would be happy again. And so when I finally healed myself, the first thing I did was I started to write quotes, because I believed at that time that while reading quotes during my healing process, those are one of the main factors, or the main things that actually help me, strengthen my mindset and to think more about life and how beautiful it is and how you can change your life, right? So I attempted to write my own quotes. I started posting it, and at the beginning it was really tough because there are so many quotes out there, and I'm just one person, starting out, right? writing, and I never thought that I was a great writer, but I knew that deep inside my heart that, writing quotes was something that I started to enjoy to do, and the more I wrote, the more I discovered that, this could be my passion, right? So, the beginning stages was really difficult. There was a time when where I just wanted to stop writing, and I actually did. I stopped writing for 3 months because I just thought that, all the work that I was doing, it wasn't reaching out to as many people as I wished it could have, and it's kind of disappointing when you open up your page and you post something and there's like 1 like or 2 likes, and there were only like 100 followers at the time, or not even, but I had to tell myself, you know what, Roger, you made a promise to yourself. You started for a reason, and you just can't give up. It's just like my healing process. When I was healing myself, I just kept pushing, and I knew that once I started getting going, I can start seeing that ripple effect. Like, because every single day I took a step, right, and then eventually those steps started becoming bigger. So I related that to to me writing my quotes, and I said, you know what, Roger, if you want to see your page grow, if you want to actually go out there and reach those people that you wish you could, then you have to continue moving forward, and you have to keep producing the content, right? And I just said, you know what, I am going to, because I really, really want to help people. And eventually, it was in April 2020, I was at around 5,000 followers, and it took me about a year, maybe less than a year, to actually get to 5,000. But all of a sudden, during the pandemic, since a lot of people were home, right, and confused about life and just trying to figure out what's going to happen in the future, I think reading quotes actually calmed them a little bit, gave them a sense of peace, right? And all of a sudden, I started seeing lots of views on my quotes. My followers started to rise, and I was like, something is happening, right? Something is definitely happening, because I've never seen this before. And that was like just over a year and a half ago. And, and then suddenly it was like 10,000, 50,000 followers, 100. When I hit 100,000 followers, I was like, oh my gosh, this is nuts. I can't believe this is happening to me, right? So I just kept writing and writing, and I started my YouTube channel. I started to do more video content, and I started doing live streams on Facebook. And eventually my page started to grow, and now, like, hitting that 1 million is just, that just tells you that, if you're going through like a really, really dark time and you can't see yourself, like, you can't see yourself being anywhere in the future. Like, I was on a couch 5 years ago crying my eyes out, yelling every single day and telling myself my life sucks, and I'm useless, I'm worthless, I'm weak, and all those crazy things I was telling my mind, right? But look what I ended up 5 years later, right? So if you're working on something, or if you're thinking about, working on something because you believe that, you can actually get somewhere with it, stick with that, like, if it's something that you really, really love to do, it's gonna be so successful. You know why? Because you have a passion for it, right? And when you put your passion and work together, that is just something that I think a lot of people want to do, right? You want to wake up in the morning and tell yourself, oh, I can't wait to wake up and start working and start doing the thing that I love to do. And that's the feeling I have when I wake up in the morning. I literally jump off my bed and I start, well, after my coffee, I start my work, because I just love creating content, and knowing the fact that whatever I write, that hopefully that it has enough impact on others so that they can read it or watch it, so that it can possibly change the way they think up here, so then they can start changing their life, right? So the journey has been incredible so far. I still have, a lot of things that I still want to achieve, right? So, even if I hit 1 million, it is a great, huge achievement for me. but there are other things I still want to achieve, right? So if you ever hit to a point where you're like, finally I made it, right? Don't tell yourself that, that's it, I'm satisfied, I'm comfortable living the way it is, right? Because there's so much more that you can do afterwards, right? So I have a lot of goals. This is definitely one of obviously my biggest accomplishments so far. But I am going to continue to work hard, and continue to inspire and motivate others, and work as hard as I can to know that that I've helped as many people as I possibly could. So I just wanted to say thank you so much again. And I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video that I am giving away a free RLQ ebook, which is on sale right now, but I'm giving it for free. It's the light version. It doesn't have the graphics behind it, but it does have the quote, the meaningful quote that you see on my Facebook page, and you could download it on the link in the description below. So thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much for your amazing support. I wouldn't have reached it without all of you guys. And my gift to you is my RLQ ebook. There's 75 of my quotes there, so go to the description below and you could download it for free. Looking forward to seeing you on my lives and talking to you on Facebook and YouTube. Take care of yourself. Your mind matters, and always believe in yourself. And most importantly, don't forget to love yourself. Until then, I will catch you next video. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey everyone, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Roger here. So this special video is not just only for me wishing you a very, very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, but I had a subscriber challenge on my channel, and the goal was to try to get 3,500 subscribers. And if we were able to get enough subscribers, I would present you with a gift on Christmas Day, which is today. And it would have been a 50-page or a book, an ebook of 50 quotes that I wrote, and I would compile it, and then I would, give it to you as a gift. And there was another challenge after that. If we were going to get 3,750, then I would have added 25 more quotes to it, so it would have been 75 quotes. But we were this close from getting to it, but even though we didn't get to that 3,750, I still created the ebook with 75 quotes for all of you guys. It is a compilation of some of the quotes that I have written for the past couple of years to recent. So I did go through many of my quotes, and I tried to pull out as many as I possibly could, so that you could take it home, download it today, so you could look at it, read it, and hopefully you could read it before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning, and read it, and hopefully that my quotes can actually help you get to the right path if that's what you're searching for. If you're looking for some positivity, if you're looking for a way to find your joy and happiness, if you're looking for a way to strengthen your mindset, or to learn how to focus, all the things that I talk about in my live streams or on my videos that I have on my channel, some of these quotes are going to remind you how to do it. A lot of the quotes that I do write are from my experiences, from my journey through the darkness and to me finding the light. So hopefully when you read these quotes during the holiday, these quotes can help you, get you on the right path. Because one of the main things that I really want to do, my mission and my goal is to try to help as many people as I can who's going through a really tough time in their life, because I know that it's very, very difficult, especially when you have anxiety, or you have depression, or you hit rock bottom. I've hit rock bottom as well, and through my journey I learned so much about life, and the lessons that I taught myself through that journey. My quotes have that information within, like, encoded into my quotes. So when you read them, you can tell yourself that, hey, you know what, this is what Roger is thinking about in his mind. This is how he was able to heal himself from a very dark place, and this is how he was able to find his joy and happiness again. And hopefully, like, if you've been following my page for a while, or if you just started and you feel that you're connected with my quotes, then that is a good sign. That is a good sign for you. And it also makes me feel like I've, all the work that I've done and all the work that I put into it did great things, because the one thing that's so important to me is to help you, get yourself back up on your feet, so that you don't have to tell yourself that life isn't bad anymore, that that this darkness that you're going through isn't going to be forever, right? Because when I was going through it, I honestly thought that I was going to live my days in the dark for the rest of my life, until I figured a way out how to kind of teach myself to take those steps every single day and not give up, to continue moving forward. And hopefully, everything that I've been writing, or all the things that I've been saying has been able to guide you, almost like me holding your hand and taking you to that right path, the one that you're searching for, so that you could find your light, so that you could find your joy, so that you can find your happiness. Because like I say in some of my videos, and I think about it a lot, is that I believe that everybody deserves their joy and happiness, right? And we have this one life, and we need to do as much as we possibly can while we still have our time here on this planet, right? So, which means that every single day you're going to try to find something to do to hopefully do something positive, and it all starts from up here, your mind, because once you start to create those positive thoughts, and you start weaning out that negativity, that negative, those thoughts that are always attacking you, then the more positive thinking that you start teaching yourself, then you are going to create that positive world that you're searching for, right? So this ebook, I spent a lot of time working on it. It is my gift to you. I put my heart and soul into it. All you have to do is you just go to the description below, and you can see the link down below, and you download it, and it will go straight to your phone or your desktop or whatever you're using, and then you could just open it up on your phone, your mobile, or your desktop, and before you go to sleep, I think that a great thing that you should do is open up my ebook, read. You could read the whole thing if you want to. Just try to fill your mind with as much information, positive information, that you possibly can, especially in the morning, right? And then you can, it will help you. It will help you move forward to the day. So you don't have to wake up thinking negative, right? You can read something positive, and that's going to help you, not just for the day, but for your tomorrows as well, right? And read it before you go to sleep too, so that you have some positive thinking before you actually fall asleep, so that when you wake up, you'll remember some of these quotes, right? That can help you hopefully smile and tell yourself that life is absolutely a beautiful place, a beautiful world. There is a beautiful world that you can see yourself in. Okay, so Merry Christmas again. Thank you so much for your support throughout the years. If you just joined, thank you for joining the RLQ community. I have a lot of things coming up in the near future, and I'm extremely excited about creating more content for you, because that's the one thing I think about the most, is creating positive content for you guys to read or to watch, right? So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. Please don't forget to download your free ebook, and enjoy it. It's my love to you, because you guys have shown me so much love through my page, and you know, my success wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have achieved my success if it wasn't for your amazing support. So take care. Remember, your mind matters. I love you so much, and I'll catch you next video. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Take care. Bye bye.